Children. So today we are having another history class. But do you remember what we have studied last class? It was a revolution of the liberals, which was considered as the first war of independence or the first stage where nationalism spread in Germany. Please do recap it because next uh, unification of Germany is coming. If the unification of Germany is asked as a long answer question, you will have to mention the revolution of the liberals as an introduction. So you need to know that part really good. Also, revolution of the liberals could be asked as a short answer question as well. I have already mentioned. Now today we are starting with another small topic, but important. Not as far as the exams are concerned. Maximum there will be a short answer question on it, but still, this is an important section when we speak about German unification. It was the role of women. As last year you have studied role of women in French Revolution. It is similar here. The role of women in German unification or revolution of the liberals as well. As we saw in French Revolution last year, large number of women did participate in revolution and assisted in revolutions. They were part of all gatherings and the meetings, all the strikes. Also, what you should not forget is that they were the backbone of these revolutionaries. When the revolutionaries were fighting wars and they were engaged in strikes and so on, these women who held their families or maintained their families, so they were taking care of the household works at the same time they were part of the revolution as well. Many women actively participated in the revolutions throughout Europe. It is not just a case of France or it is not just a case of Germany or Italy, everywhere. But somehow, I would say somehow, the governing authorities were reluctant to give any political rights to women. In many cases, even social rights were denied to women as well during that time. All right, we are speaking about 18th century and 19th century, beginning of 19th century as well. But even in 21st century, still when we look around, we will see that women are not given equal rights or political rights or social rights in the fullest sense. They don't have the means. Officially they have, by rule they have, but do they enjoy it? I really doubt. But anyway, during that period, 17th and 18th century, even the liberals who were for freedom, equality and fraternity were reluctant to give any political rights to women. It was the case of Germany as well. It was the case of France, it was the case of Germany, it was the case of Italy, everywhere. Women founded their own political associations, not parties, but it was associations that time. And they found their own newspaper and taken part in political meetings and demonstrations. They were actively participating in the revolution. Their newspapers and pamphlets or leaflets all were supporting revolution. At the same time, they were raising the issues of the women as well. What they were facing, they were not facing equality anywhere. Not in job, not in education, not in wages, not in political rights. So they were raising their question as well. One of the main personality when we speak about role of women in German revolutions or German unification or during that period, it is Louise Otto Peters. She founded a newspaper, she founded a journal, women's journal, and she also started a feminist political association. Feminist is one who are aware of women's rights and interest and fight for it. So remember Louis Otto Peters. There are details about her on your audio text on page number 17. Please do read it. Today, what we are covering is page number 17. So, activist Louis Otto Peters founded a women's journal and a feminist political association. As I said before, women were denied suffrage rights during the election of assembly. There was no political rights for them. They were mere spectators. They were asked they don't exist. The suffrage was actually limited to men only. Also, in case of Frankfurt Parliament, we have seen 1848 when revolution of the liberals happened. There was a Frankfurt Parliament which convened to unify Germany. Women were there, but they were just as spectators. They didn't even had a chance to actively participate in that assembly. So they were just admitted as observers. So even though they have actively participated in German unification or revolution, they were denied of their political rights as well as social rights. As you know, it took years, a fight of years, even in France, Germany, or in entire Europe, and even in other countries, like even in India. It went up to 21st century to get equal status, at least legally. Socially, even now, it doesn't exist. We know that. We can argue that it is there, but still, it is not there. So this is about role of women in German Revolution. Let us see now the continuous part of German unification.